Buddha was born in Lumbini Gardens in 623 BC, but the Bethlehem of Buddhism was lost to the civilized world for centuries and was taken over by dense forests only to be rediscovered and excavated in 1896. The birthplace of Buddha suffered its first major setback during the life of Buddha himself, when it was deserted after a ferocious invasion and brutal massacre of his Sakyan clan members. This is the story about the birthplace of Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, the fourth largest religion in the world, and how one of the most significant landmarks in the history of humanity was completely lost, along with some of the most important Buddhist temples and monasteries. Lumbini was always an important Buddhist pilgrimage destination, simply because it was here where Buddha was born. The ancient Buddhist scriptures tell us the story of the birth of Buddha. Buddha was born in 623 BC in the Lumbini Gardens situated in the Himalayan foothills of Nepal. He was the son of King Suddhodana, the king of ancient Sakyan kingdom of Kapilvastu, and Queen Mahamaya, the princess of the ancient Kolian kingdom of Devdaha. When Mahamaya felt that the time has come for the birth of the child, she desired to visit her maternal home as per the ancient Kolian tradition. While traveling to Devdaha along with her attendants, she stopped in the beautiful Lumbini Gardens to take some rest. Lumbini Gardens was situated somewhere in the middle of kingdoms of Kapilvastu and Devdaha. After taking bath in the nearby pond, she felt the pain and gave birth to Buddha in the standing position while holding the branches of a sal tree under the full bloom. The ancient scriptures mention that Buddha was received by none other than the Sakka, the king of gods himself. However, Lumbini suffered her first major disaster during the lifetime of Buddha himself, when the Sakyan clan of Buddha was massacred and annexed by Viruddhaka, son of the mighty king Prasenjit and the king of the ancient powerful kingdom of Kaushal. Most of his Sakyan clan members were killed during this revenge attack, and those who survived fled from the kingdom of Kapilvastu, leaving Lumbini deserted. Lumbini regained her lost glory when Asoka, the great emperor of Magad, visited the birthplace of Buddha during his pilgrimage in 249 BC. He built several monuments in Lumbini, which included a polished sandstone pillar and the nativity sculpture which depicted the scene of the birth of Buddha. He placed the nativity sculpture under the tree which was direct descendant of the very sal tree under which Buddha was born. He also donated 100,000 gold coins at Lumbini. Both of these monuments of Emperor Asoka were going to play a vital role after around 2,100 years to prove the existence of Lumbini. Lumbini quickly regained her lost glory, and several monasteries and temples were built on the site over the next several centuries. Ancient Chinese pilgrims, including Faxian and Xuanzang, have mentioned the glory that was Lumbini between the 4th and 7th century. But Lumbini started to lose its popularity during the 10th century with the re-emergence of Hinduism in the subcontinent and the decline of Buddhism. Lumbini was lost gradually to the civilized world from the 12th century onwards because of continuous wars between invading Islamic forces and the defending Hindu forces in the region. The natural calamities, including floods, earthquakes, and famines, ensured that it was abandoned completely after the 13th century. Gradually, one of the holiest places of Buddhism was taken over by dense forest, known only to a few local villagers of the area. By the 14th century, it was completely lost under the dense growth of forest. By the 18th century, Buddhism and even Buddha himself was completely forgotten in the plains of the subcontinent. Buddha was now taken as some mythological entity and not some historical personality. The association of Lumini with Lord Buddha was completely forgotten. The colonization of India during the 18th and 19th centuries brought new invading forces into the subcontinent. The 19th century also saw the re-emergence of interest in Buddhism in the Western world as well as among the scholars from the Indian subcontinent. Major General Sir Alexander Cunningham contributed immensely to the rediscovery of Buddhist sites across the Indian subcontinent. He is credited with the rediscovery of several important Buddhist sites mentioned in the ancient Buddhist scriptures, including Sarnath, Takshila, and Sanchi, to name a few. He also tried his best to locate and discover the birthplace of Buddha, but he was not successful even after several attempts. Contradictory theories were floating about the location of Lumini at that time, some putting it even down south in India. Things started to change after the discovery of the Niglihawa Asokan pillar in the Terai region of Nepal during the late 19th century. The ancient Chinese pilgrims have mentioned that Lumini lied close to the Niglihawa shrine, but the discovery of Lumini was yet to see some more drama and fraudulent claims. During the 1890s, Rana Khadak Shamsher, the governor of Nepal's Palpa district, came to know about an ancient stone pillar in the middle of forest of Rupandehi district. He went deep into the forest with his team and started excavation of the site. The news of this discovery reached Dr. Anton Führer, who was a German scholar working with the Archaeological Survey of India. He also reached the site with his team, but by that time, the Nepalese governor and his workers have already dug a significant portion of the pillar. Hardly 3 feet of digging was more to be undertaken. Rana Shamsher had discovered the Asokan pillar of Lumini, and the ancient inscriptions on the pillar in the Pali script mentioned the place to be Lumini itself. The later discovery of the nativity sculpture put the final stamp on the authenticity of this place to be the real Lumini. After returning to India, Führer declared that he had discovered Lumini. However, he had to return to Europe disgraced after it was found that he had made many fraudulent claims, including the discovery of several relic caskets near Lumini and several artifacts of antiquity which he had actually procured from a Burmese monk. Fast forward to present. Lumini of today has regained her lost glory and is designated as one of the 15 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Nepal. The place is frequented by millions of pilgrims and tourists every year. You can still feel the omnipresence of Buddha at his birthplace. The Pushkarini pond where Queen Mahamaya took her bath before giving birth to Buddha, and the ruins of several historic monasteries still tell the story of birth of Buddha. Today, Lumini is regarded as one of the best places to visit in Asia and one of the most significant Buddhist destinations in the world.